There is a wrongness to the town that mornings cannot wash away. Light slides across the cracked pavement, as if reluctant to touch it, and the air carries a thin metallic scent no one manages to name. Windows return reflections a heartbeat late. Dogs go slack and fixate where nothing stands. Over time, I learned to read these margins. Silences threaded through conversations, the way neighbors left a row of empty chairs on porches, as if the town were a map of something approaching and everyone had agreed not to point. At first, the signs hid in small, conspiratorial details that mocked explanation. Streetlights hummed in rhythms that matched no municipal schedule. My phone logged hours of static between 2:13 and 2:17 a.m., a fine, weather-like hiss that, when slowed, sketched a geometry I could not draw. People explained away missing hours as lost sleep, as fog at the edge of memory, until a boy down the road described dreams as precise blueprints. Circles within concentric circles, ladders descending into walls. He drew them in charcoal and left the sheets on porches like brittle warnings. Paranoia is not an epiphany, it accumulates. I watched my reflection taste the hair on my knuckles as if testing for salt. Names slipped from mouths and returned wrong. I would wake, mid-sentence, certain someone else had finished it somewhere else. Each night, I found tiny tracks in the dust on my shelves. Not ordinary prints, but shallow impressions, like a thumbprint translated into the grain. I began locking doors against things that could walk through glass. I stopped consoling myself with laughable certainties and instead cataloged anomalies. Sleep thinned into observation. Observation narrowed into ritual. I made the mistake of naming the sound that called to me. A gull's cry played backward, and the name hummed against the inside of my skull like a tuning fork, always one note away from unmaking consonants. When it finally revealed itself, it did not arrive as grotesque tableau of pulp horror. It arrived in angles, the river bending 2 degrees more than it ought to, street names reading backward under certain lights. The presence was architecture, an organism of mathematics rather than flesh. It needed no eyes. It had a field that unstitched the world as it passed. Time began folding small, private minutes into wrinkles, and in those folds, I glimpsed other interiors where geometry behaved like weather. I confronted it not with courage so much as with the brittle resolve of someone who had already given up ordinary sanity. It answered by rearranging the contours of my house, replacing staircases with corridors that spilled outward into a sky hung with calculus. Speech thinned into notation. Love letters became equations. In the end, I understood only that it preferred language as currency and that our idioms made poor payment. I sealed the windows, nailed the doors, and still a pattern hummed under the floorboards like a distant tide. It felt like ending and invitation both. I turned the key, and the lock answered in a voice uncannily like my own, saying only, "We will learn each other."